A wise man once told me, if you want something done right, brew it yourself. Or maybe I just read that on Jeff's t-shirt here. But this is Jeff Seward, and you, sir, are a home brewer.
That is correct.
All of the craft beer in the world wasn't enough for you. You thought, I need to make my own.
That's fair enough.
Let's unpack this. How do you become someone who enjoys the taste of beer and then transition into having all of these wonderful toys in your basement?
It started, honestly, with a Mr. Beer kit.
Mr. Beer. That's it's like $30, right?
Yeah. Came with plastic bottles and a couple of cans of malt extract, and I did a couple of those, and I said, hey, there's got to be a better way to make more than just a 6-pack of this at a time.
Right.
So I got to looking into that, and I got to looking into the costs, and all I needed to start with was a couple of kettles. So I started doing extract brewing on my stove. And eventually I kind of got, over a couple of years of that, I kind of said, hey, there's got to be a way to get some more control over the process, and I moved on to what's called all grain brewing. And I started with a converted Coleman cooler and a couple of pots and a propane burner. And
oh, wow.
Man, up until about a year ago, that was my primary system for well over 9 years, and I made some darn good brews on it.
So the system you have now, you're able to do a lot more complex things.
The process has always stayed the same. There's just some added features that makes my life a little easier. Mm-hmm. Cuts down on the time of the brew day, and it cuts down on heavy lifting. So, when we got the new house and the new setup, I wanted a setup I could do indoors. Mm-hmm. So that limits me. I can't use propane anymore. At least not without burning down the house.
Yeah, which we're trying not to do.
Yeah.
Right. You were saying that when you were moving into this place here in Rock Island, your wife fell in love with the floor plan upstairs, mm-hmm. and you came down to this basement, and instantly you looked at the water hookups.
Water hookups, power.
Uh-huh.
It was, and plus there's the bar sitting here.
Uh-huh.
I just fell in love with this basement.
This sweet bar was here when you moved in.
Yeah.
I don't know. It must have been on the market 15 minutes because this bar, I love this bar. What's different about this from the last level that you were at?
In one of the kettles, we have a what they basically call a recirculating coil. It sits in a water bath, and that water bath I keep at a very certain temperature, and we pump the beer through that coil into the mash tun, and it helps keep a stable temperature of the mash. And it's it goes to that coil in the water bath, so it's not directly heated; it's indirectly heated, so that prevents any burning or scorching.
You say this is only your 4th brew on it?
Correct.
I had to check this out. Okay, Jeff, what's about to happen here?
Well, we just finished our mash out, so I'm going to transfer all the wort from this tank over to the boil kettle, and at the same time I'm going to start rinsing it with the water from this kettle. And between the 2 volumes of water, we're going to have about maybe 6 gallons or so to work with, and then I'm going to start boiling.
All right. Why don't we make that happen, Captain?
All right.
What is it about this that makes it so that you say, I have to do it, I have to get deeper and deeper into this world?
It's a labor of love. It's a hobby. I mean, I just like the technical aspects of it. I enjoy planning recipes. That's probably my favorite part, is sitting down and just planning a new recipe and going from there.
How much of the recipe building that you like doing is tinkering with it? Once you have a finished product going, a little more malt or maybe a different kind of hop.
Yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 recipes that I'm on version 3 or version 4 of, mm-hmm. that I've just made some changes to either make it less strong or more strong depending on the style, or just added some different grains or tried some different hops with it. So it's little changes here and there to see what the outcome is, and there's about maybe 5 or 6 beers that have turned out so well that I just don't change them at all. So
that's the goal, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get to a place where you say, we're done here. This is from now on how I make this.
Exactly.
Okay, so the boil has begun. Mm-hmm. So what's next?
So it'll take about 15 or 20 minutes to get up to a full boil. And once that's done, I add my first hop addition. And then we let it go for about an hour. And that does a couple things. One, it starts removing some of that excess water that might be in there, kind of evaporates that off. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get that down to about 5 1/4, 5.5 gallons. That'll be the perfect amount for the fermenter and perfect amount for the kegs that I use. And we'll cool that down as rapidly as possible, and then we will toss in some yeast. That's where all the magic happens. And
so you'll pitch the yeast, and then, as you said, the magic will happen. But it sounds like right now we just got a lot of standing around waiting.
There's some of that, but you know,
I have, I think, an idea for an effective use of this time. What do you say maybe we try some of your beer?
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you would.
I like it.
Let's do that. Sometimes you want to go to a bar where everybody knows your name. And if you really want to go to that kind of place, you need to come here. Because if Jeff and Tina don't know you, you can't get into the place. This beautiful bar is the stage for these wonderful performers. Let's talk about the two beers that you've got here presented for us.
Okay.
Looks like a stout and a...
Smash.
This is the Smash.
Yep, single malt and single hop.
Now the Smash is the one you're particularly proud of.
Yep, it was the first beer I did on this system.
Okay.
And it turned out pretty good, I
Right.
think. It's my opinion.
Well, I'll be the judge of that, Jeff. Oh, now, yeah. It did turn out pretty good. Single malt. What is the malt that you're using in this?
Called Maris Otter.
It is really crisp.
Thank you.
Good stuff. And then we have your stout. And you're a stout fan. Stout was kind of what launched you into the larger world of craft beer, right?
Yes. Stout is one of these.
I have a feeling that it was a particular stout, but off the top of my head, I can't really figure out what it was.
I don't know. But yeah, that's correct. I like Guinness a lot, but the one thing that I kind of thought that maybe could have used a little improvement, I mean, I wanted something a little thicker and not quite as light as what Guinness comes out with. And Guinness is great. I love it.
You love Guinness.
I wanted something.
But you go,
I wanted something with
I
a
could
little
do
more
better.
octane.
That's fantastic. They've been making this stuff since what? 1789 or 66 or when is it? How long?
Well, I believe it says 1759.
1759. I knew it was 1700.
No, I'm by no means am I saying I can do better than Guinness. But
Well,
I
we have
wanted,
you on tape saying that very thing. Let's just see about this.
I just wanted something with a little more alcohol content, and I
Ooh,
wanted something
mission achieved.
I wanted something a little stronger with a little more alcohol content. And,
I mean, this almost tastes like it's super smooth.
what I've got in there is just some roasted chocolate malt. We got some roasted barley, a little bit of what's called black patent, and I've got a lot of oatmeal in there. The oatmeal, I think, is what contributes to that smooth feel that you're.
Yeah, that is. It's better than Guinness. There, I said it. Hashtag better than Guinness.
Oh,
This
someone's gonna write me an angry email.
Oh,
for
yeah,
that
no,
one.
they're coming for you, Jeff. They're coming for you. But give them some of this, and most of them will agree, I think. Wow. Dynamite and dynamite.
Thank you.
Wonderful stuff. Thanks for allowing us to poke around here at the Squatting Dog Brewery. Not available in any stores. Only available at one bar, and that bar is in a basement in Rock Island. It's wonderful stuff. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Next on Brewed, a meeting of the beer minds. The inner workings of the Quad City Mugs Club and the incredible brews they brought to share.